I am in the middle of cooking breakfast and I wanted to share something that happened to me last night because hopefully it can help some of y'all. So, someone that cares about me a great deal came over to see me last night. And when they came over, I wasn't feeling well. I was having like low blood sugar, all the things that you don't want. Very innocently, they said to me, well, have you eaten? And I said, yeah, I had some pizza earlier. And they said, you need to eat something like a bit more healthy. Now, there are a few words that I don't allow when somebody comes into my house, and healthy is one of them. Mostly because I want my children to be raised to trust their bodies and to know what is best for their bodies. So when this person said this to me, I want to share with y'all what I said to them. Your body does not know the difference between a chicken Caesar salad or this. Your body doesn't know the difference. Your body's only job is to break down the protein, fats, and carbs that you put in your body. And that's all you need for a balanced meal: protein, fats, and carbs. So trust yourself to feed your body. It's your body. If you want what you want, then eat it. And this is no shade to my friend last night. It's just a simple reminder that small words like that some of us just throw around flippantly can really be hurtful, especially to those recovering from eating disorders. And during this time of year, it's even harder.
I don't understand. You said that person cares about you a lot. So why is it a problem when they suggest you eat something healthier to make yourself feel better in the long run? I can't believe she's telling her kids healthy is a bad word. How could you do that to your kids? They deserve to live a healthy life. I honestly think that people like Tess Holliday, who don't care about their kids' diet, are the absolute worst. And this should be considered child abuse. Tess has a 4-year-old girl who relies on her solely with food and can't really be blamed for the bad habits Tess is giving her. Telling her healthy is a bad word and to just trust what her body wants at 4-year-old is going to be dangerous for her. And when she's older, it will result in a lot of bad habits. Your body might not know the differences physically, but it will know what it gets from these foods. While you get a lot of fiber and protein from a chicken Caesar salad, you won't get it from this high-fat and high-carb meal, such as your bagel over there. And yes, the body's job is to break down the food, but it doesn't mean that what the food contains won't matter. Your full-fat cream cheese with fried bacon bagel is absolutely not good for you at all, while chicken Caesar salad is mostly good for you. Having 10 grams of protein with 30 grams of fat and little to no fiber in a meal is not what your body needs. That's just not how it works, Tess. You're clearly really misinformed, since this is what you have in your nice meal there. If you want to eat something, eat it, yes. But remember, snacks and fried foods are not something you should eat daily. And God, I absolutely hate it when she says she has been through an ED. It's devaluating the people who actually went through it. And her interviews on the topic are just disgusting.
Oh yeah, this one's a doozy. This one's a real doozy to get your mind around. Because we want to believe that the medical community isn't impacted by diet culture nonsense. But they are, because the worldwide diet industry is a $2.5 billion industry every year. And here in the US, it's only $78 billion. So there's a lot of money globally that is made from perpetuating anti-fat stigma. We want to believe that the doctors and the healthcare workers are above this stigma and that they're devoted to science. And I think individually they are, but there's no way that the research and the messaging and the propaganda isn't getting involved and embedded into the healthcare system. And this is just one little piece of evidence to show that. Follow the money.
So, the video she's sticking to says, when fat people no longer live longer than thin people, which I'm guessing is about the obesity paradox, but this woman talks about something completely different. She says the doctors are biased because of the diet industry, but she forgets there's a big player in that game. The worldwide fast food industry, which is absolutely a large contributor to the obesity epidemic. They make almost 800 billion every year worldwide and almost 300 billion in the US alone. Over 50 million Americans eat fast food every single day. day. So there is absolutely a lot of money made for making people think being fat is not that big of a deal. Which means that by your logic, the doctors should say it's a good thing to be fat to drive up the sales of fast food because they make a lot more money than the diet industry. Doctors and healthcare professionals are above the stigma. At least most of them are. They literally study for years because they want to make people have a healthier and happier life. And you devaluating it is just disgusting. You didn't give any evidence. You just gave us a statistic of how much money they make, just like I did with the fast food industry. Does that mean what I said is true? Your logic is just super small-minded. And like you said, just follow the money.
There is proof, and I literally explained it in that video, you fucking fucktard. And look, another uneducated piece of shit telling me to eat too little. There are literally thousands of dietitians that say to not do this because it's not enough.
Oh my god, Marisa. Again, with the gaslighting. Jesus. The comment basically says that there isn't any science supporting Marissa's excuses, which we can find all over her page. There really isn't any scientific research that supports your excuses. While having a 1200 calorie diet might be too extreme for some people, I would honestly think to myself, is it better for me in the long run when the alternative is being obese for the rest of my life? I would always suggest going to your dietitian and doctor before starting a diet, but this might work for some people since calorie intake depends on so many factors. Just like in my 600 pound slide, Doctor now thinks it's a better solution to give them an extreme diet because the other option is worse for their health.
Fatness changes everything. So I'm currently reading What We Don't Talk About When We Talk About Fat by Aubrey Gordon. And I'm thinking about the moment I realized that fatness was a marginalized identity. I grew up as a fat person, and I also grew up as an intersectional feminist, but I never included fatness in my analysis because I didn't think it was a marginalized identity. I truly didn't think that fatness played a role in the systemic inequalities I faced. But it wasn't until I occupied a larger body that I realized that anti-fatness and anti-blackness shaped the way I navigate through spaces. Like the fact that it took me 6 years to find out that I have PCOS. Or the fact that I'm applying for jobs right now and I'm being passed over for jobs I'm overqualified for. And when I go out to dinner with my thin friends, I have to think about if the seating is going to be accessible to me. These are things most people don't have to think about, but it is a lived reality for fat people. Fatness is a marginalized identity because it reshapes the way you navigate through spaces in a world that seeks to eradicate you. And when I understood that, I was able to make sense of a lot of things in my life.
While anti-blackness is real and an awful problem, the fact you are fat doesn't change anything. You're only speculating here. Saying you're not getting jobs you're overqualified for because you're fat is insane. You have no proof of that at all. And when you go to get dinner with your friends, yes, you do have to think about the chairs. But it's not because you're marginalized, it's because you're going out to eat. And that's not a right. The restaurant don't have to accommodate for something you did to yourself and are actively doing to yourself. Fatness is not a marginalized group. Being fat does not make you marginalized. And every service you have a right for is accessible for you. But you need to remember that you are the reason you're fat and nobody else. I can't stand it when fat people say that they are marginalized, when there are actually groups who actively struggle with that. It devaluates the meaning of the word and makes it harder for people who are actually marginalized to get the attention they deserve. No one seeks to eradicate you. Jesus Christ. I just want you to know how damaging what you're doing is. And instead of stopping to make excuses for yourself, you damage young minds who are susceptible for that kind of misinformation.